We are here at the Eastern Iowa Baking Company in Eldridge, and I know what you're saying. Has there been a format change? That's not a brewery. It's not. But this is all going to make sense, I promise you. Rhonda reached out and said, Dave, I am doing things with beer that you need to know about. And as a fan of your muffins and the baked goods that you make here, I thought, well, that is super intriguing. If we ever do a show about muffins, we'll be back here. If they ever do like a spin-off show, like Muffined. Is that a show? Can I pitch that? Anyone interested in watching a show about muffins? We'll stick to beer. The beer that you use in, you got to be kidding me, in everything here?
Yes.
Beer is an ingredient in all of these things.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So I'll ask the obvious question. Why put beer in food?
It's like, why put wine into your pasta sauce? It's another level of flavoring. It brings out different notes in what you're doing, and it's fun.
And it is fun. So different notes is what you're looking for. So then different beers would serve different purposes.
Yeah.
So you might use what kind of beer for this as opposed to this?
Okay. We have, on the table, we have an amber ale, and then we also have a milk stout. And then we actually have on...
If I start crying, don't anybody judge me. You obviously are a fan of baked goods.
Yes.
And you're a fan of beer.
Yes.
And you grew up in Wisconsin.
I did.
So my guess is you acquired a taste for beer before you acquired a taste for baked goods.
I won't admit to how young I was when I started drinking beer, yes.
Well, it's in Wisconsin. it's fine up there. There's no drinking age up there. So the characteristics of beer, we've talked about what that can bring to different dishes. There's some similarities in brewing and baking, right?
There is. It's a fermentation process. In bread baking, especially say with the sourdough, which we do have with the soup, it's a fermentation process, and so you've got all that wonderful bacteria doing its happy little number,
right? And
it just brings a whole different yeastiness, maltiness, and the beer again does very much a similar process in infusing flavors into, say, a blondie.
So when you say infused, I mean, this is much more complicated than just you've got your batter for your bars and you pour a 12-ounce can in there. There's a lot more. There's an actual science to what you do.
Mm-hmm. Well, and actually for the blondies, yes, we just poured beer into it.
Oh, so it is just that simple.
Sometimes.
So if we were going to attempt to do this at home, which please don't do this at home, come to the Eastern Iowa Baking Company. But if you were going to try this at home, you would just pour a
This one we just
can?
Yep. This one was about 3/4 of a cup.
Okay. So,
some for the cook, some for the.
So more goes in you than goes into the dish sometimes?
Not necessarily.
We're not here to judge. This is a show about beer. You're in a safe place. We can talk about this. Well, it all looks fantastic. You can get all of it here at the Eastern Iowa Baking Company in Eldridge. People can order this in advance. I imagine this is something like for the holidays people would want to have.
We will have this available during the holidays. Yeah.
So call ahead. Probably a good idea to call ahead.
Please.
And say, I saw those delicious beer dishes, and I'll take one of everything. Because I'm going to tell you right now, that's the smart play. Thanks so much for inviting us. Are we going to try some stuff?
Go for it.
Well, where do I even start?
I don't know. We'll get you a plate.
You at home, yell out to the television. Where should I start?
I heard or the soup.
The ribs? Ribs? Should I do the ribs first? Oh my gosh, this is like a pork.
And just dunk it into the barbecue sauce.
Again, this is a beer infused.
Just tiny touch of heat.
Okay. Here we go. It's so good. That's really good. Can they get the barbecue sauce here?
Yes.
And you can just get it by the jar here? Mm-hmm. Get this. Trust me, you get this. Can I try one of these?
Absolutely.
All right, I'm just gonna use my fingers. I'm sorry.
I should have put something to separate them.
I'm just gonna bottoms up on this one.
This one's the bourbon.
Oh, so there's a bourbon. The bourbon stout?
Yes.
So this has got the barrel-aged bourbon stout.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, your story checks out. That's what's in here for sure. Amazing stuff. Thanks so much for letting us come and sample it and hear more about it and learn what you're doing back here. It's just amazing stuff. Again, Eldridge, Eastern Iowa Baking Company. The beer-infused food. I mean, everything they make here is great, but we're especially partial to the beer-infused stuff. So, cheers. Never done that with a blondie before. Cheers.